My name is Michael Tarulli. I'm 49 years of age. I live in St Kilda. I'm right in the hub of it, a vibrant area. I was employed with the Victoria Police as a constable and finished off as senior constable from the years 1989 to 2000. The year 1993 I was involved in a very serious car accident whilst on patrol. We were responding to a shots fired. I was the passenger in the vehicle and I suffered major injuries, critical injuries that required hospitalisation. Well, I need the car to get around purely for the reason that I do have minor accidents. When in need, I have to return back home, unfortunately, to get into new gear because obviously in the immediate case there's no public toilets that are accessible for me in particular due to the nature of my disability. For me, the vehicle I rely on is part of that security for me, knowing that I can confidently go out publicly and use that as my vehicle of choice or transport of choice, just so that I can actually feel comfortable, and if an emergency does arise, I can use that to go home. Significant growth and congestion in the city of Port Phillip. It's required me to find alternative parking areas which have been difficult for me because they've been taken up. I find it very difficult to use my car and park in areas that I want to go to visit. For example, the sea baths or down towards the St Kilda Botanical Gardens, for example. It's proven to be difficult for me, especially parking in my residential area. The solutions around parking, I would imagine that maybe a city access permit for people with disabilities, entitlement for that particular reason, so they can park outside on the street, which is clearly more functional for them. People with wheelchairs can then have the room to take the wheelchair out and take their time to then transfer from vehicle to chair. For me, I need the stick to get around, so I have to take my legs out, which takes a while because I'm not that mobile. That'd be far easier for me to be mobile in that sense and not so restricted. A lot of the parking bays are aligned next to bike paths, and I find it very difficult getting out while there are cyclists. The barriers I find with the use of public transport, in particular in peak hour, there's a crowding situation, particularly on trams and buses. You're dealing with congestion. You don't have access to go and sit down where there's an area that is actually reserved for people with disabilities because you're actually buffeted by people in between. So that is a major obstacle for me personally. Particularly in the city of Port Phillip, I have noticed there's a greater number of parking bays for people with disabilities, which is great, and I think we probably need more of those. Wider spaces in between disability car spots for people with disabilities, because we need to consider the people with wheelchairs and the distance between the line and the vehicle. I've noticed myself I need to compete with tourists in the particular areas of parking with people with disabilities. So I think that is probably paramount now. We need more parking bays. Very much in the heart of St Kilda, but elsewhere as well in the city of Port Phillip.